Hopping a hammock for
Be careful.
And Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care, as long as it's good stories.
And welcome to the Acement, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Acecito.
And as you can see, we're actually live with guests in the Acement.
Yes, with guests. And this is a special edition of Behind the Funny.
Yes,
we should
second
say.
week in a row.
Second
we're
week
doing
in a
a
row. We have
special
multiple
episodes. I
guests.
love it. I love it.
Good.
Extra time,
But do you love it?
extra drinking.
Yes, extra drinking. Scott will be.
I'll be
I love
sleeping.
you, man. At 11 o'clock tonight. I just
Ace will
want
be
to
like,
tell you.
don't you need to head out? No, wait,
I
one
got
more.
one more story.
Let me
Hold
just
on.
tell you, man.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
tonight, Ace, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Battle Cry. This is a Rhode Island whiskey.
Yes.
Sons of Liberty down in South County, Rhode Island has fantastic whiskeys, and we are drinking Battle Cry, which is distilled from Belgian mash, and it's got distillation. Belgian ale inspired mash with rye malt, honey malt, and pale malt.
Does it have alcohol?
14 days fermentation. Yes, that's where the alcohol happens.
Okay, perfect.
Double distilled to an average of 124 proof.
And welcome to the Bill Nye the Science Guy podcast.
Listen, I'm just telling the audience about it. And listen,
Is there any
finish.
aspartame?
Non-chill filtered, no flavorings or color
he didn't
added.
he didn't get the diet Battle Cry.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sorry.
we didn't go with diet Battle Cry. But anyway, a great local whiskey to Rhode Island.
Yes.
It really tastes good. So cheers,
And
buddy.
cheers. And it's perfect. We'll cheers to your vodka and seltzer over there. And you know what? How
This
cool,
seltzer's good.
how, as Mike Murray
Yes.
would say, how cool is that?
Cool as that.
That we have a local whiskey
Because
we have a local guest who has some local news
big
about Rhode
news.
Island.
Big news.
Huge news. Absolutely huge.
the
It's the biggest
hugest.
news ever.
Big
Fantastic.
bigly news.
Bigly news. Yes, we have bigly news. I don't know what else to say.
We're just going to introduce him. So we have our buddy Bill Simas, who has been on the podcast before.
Yes.
Yes.
It's been a while,
Yeah,
though,
long
right?
time. Yeah, long time. You guys have come a long way. Very
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah, look at us. We have a
Look at
whole
you.
room in my house now.
That's it. That's it.
Working on some new tables, so
I
it
appreciate
look
that.
nice.
These
Yeah.
picnic tables are amazing.
Yeah, you don't like that? Come on.
Yes, it has that very,
It's-
Again,
July 4th kind of feel.
Yeah.
I dig it.
July
Also-
4th minus the tablecloths.
also supplied by a local store, Ocean State Job Lot. Thank you very much.
That's right. Yes.
We're
and
keeping
we
it
just-
local tonight.
And we just lost 7 viewers. But listen, we're really, as usual, we are excited. We're excited to have Billy because Billy's got some big news. So why don't you tell us, first of all, like the journey, how it started, and then how everything kind of came to fruition and how the local comedy scene in Rhode Island is going to be growing.
Yes. So thanks for having us.
Yeah.
My son Austin is here with me.
Austin.
So
We know him from his flossing.
yes, on stage.
How do you like that? He wrote a joke about you flossing.
The
Did you
kids
know
like
that?
to floss. Well, he it was what 4 years ago he flossed, and then his brother just recently stopped.
Oh, did,
So, yeah,
did he?
yeah. So
That's
there's-
awesome.
Now it's just on the stage. It's really happening, but
Yeah,
it's,
right.
It's long gone. Yeah, thanks for having us. And 7 years ago, Funny for Funds started. Mike Murray and I kind of helped grow that all throughout New England and beyond now, and you guys have been an integral part of that. So thank you for everything that you guys have done. And
You're welcome.
you just don't know who you're performing for, who
Yeah.
you're working with, who you're helping when you do fundraisers. So Ed Brady and Jeff Quinlan. They own and operate Dig In Dining, and they own all the Thirsty Beavers, and I think they're building another one in North Kingstown now. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and but they are just, not only are they into building businesses and creating a nice entrepreneurial environment, but they also like to better the community.
Yeah.
And so some of their friends and even Ed Brady are Cranston born and raised.
Yep. Ed was a councilman, a town councilman in Cranston.
So last we did two or three shows for them with Funny for Funds. One of them was to help the Cranston West, the new football field.
Yep.
And he approached me one day after the show and just, love what you guys are doing. I love what your company represents and your system and everything. And maybe someday down the road we can do something together. And that was really the last time we spoke.
Yeah.
We were always fans of each other. And then in July, I got a random private Facebook message from Ed and said, hey, I'd like to grab a coffee at the Beaver. Are you willing? And she, absolutely. And so I went to talk to him, and he said, listen, we have some big news coming up. We can't announce it yet, but it's in the works. And as soon as we're able to announce it, we'd like to have you be a part of it if you'd be interested in owning your own comedy club. And the moment I heard that, or having your own space, or having whatever that vision looks like, right?
Yeah.
And December came around, we were able to announce it because they finally purchased the historic Park Theater, an event center on Park Avenue in Cranston. It's 96 years old, so I'm sure there'll be a big bash for 100.
That'll be great.
But they are going through the inside. A lot of it was already refurbished before the pandemic hit.
15 years ago, the doctor from New York, India, had done it. Literally ripped it down to 3 walls and dirt, and redid that place beautifully. So I know we had done the Dorian Murray the D Strong show there.
That was a great night. We what, 35,000 or something that night. That was amazing.
And you had a show there for your Man of the Year campaign.
I did a royal. I did a Royal Flush show there. And I'm sure you got to open up for some people there. I got to open up for some people there. So it's a beautiful venue. Yeah. And unfortunately, like you said, COVID hit. Things changed, and the place became available. So thank God for Ed and Jeff and the local guys for coming in and taking it on.
Well, the cool thing is, it's not just business people trying to acquire something and rehab it for financial purposes. Like there's an emotional attachment with these guys because they went to movies there as kids, and like we had the announcement last Tuesday. They shut down streets, had the mayor there, the governor, Alan Funn was there for running for Congress, right?
Running for Congress.
Roads, and there was like, I couldn't believe what was happening and the energy from the community that came out
on a cold, raw, almost rainy day. And how cool, honestly, how many comics were there? Like the Rhode Island comedy community was there.
Yeah, there was probably about a dozen.
About a dozen of us. Yeah. And I shouldn't say Rhode Island, because even Mike Katrobis and Pat Collins came
from Massachusetts. Yeah. So, and that just goes to show you, man, that, inside the historic theater now, the layout, and I know they're going to announce it as they go through, so I don't want to say too much of their side, but from my side, the name of the comedy club is going to be called the Comedy Park, right? Like amusement park, ballpark. They wanted to keep the park in the name. So, and as you know, I was talking with you guys as well. Every time I tried to come up with a name, it was taken. Right. And it was very difficult to come up with a name. So, and one morning I was performing in New Hampshire, and I was in the hotel. It was like a blizzard-like conditions we had here, but in New Hampshire, it wasn't that bad. And I just went out for coffee in the morning, and it just out of nowhere hit me. It's like, the Comedy Park. And tagline I had, for laughter lives here. Yeah. It just works so well with it. So inside the theater, you'll have also a cafe and bistro, and then there'll be my own entrance, which will be the Comedy Park. I'd say it's probably going to hold easy 150, maybe 160, 170, no more than that. And I think that's perfect for a comedy club.
Absolutely.
For a regular club, that's a great size.
You don't want it to be too big. You don't want to have a 400 seat
there's
club.
plenty of people, but you still have that intimacy of a nice club.
Yep. Right. So that's we're working on it now. I was painting the green room the other day. Every day I've been there, and this is like the biggest thing I've ever taken on. It's exhausting. I respect anybody that runs a club, because now I'm starting to know, like, wow, this is 24/7. It's people calling, people wanting to be there, people wanting to help, bookings and all, calendars, and it's just unbelievable. It's 24/7. So the club will be open. I'm looking at 7 days a week, but just for comedy on Friday and Saturdays. And then, of course, Thursday and Sundays, you might have some ancillary
Comedy shows,
to the
like an
side.
open mic night or a showcase night or
Then
something
even a
like
Funny
that.
for Fun show. Funny for Fun's, the
Right.
beauty of Funny for Fun's is it doesn't need a comedy club.
Right.
We do Elks Lodges, nights at Columbus Halls. And,
Right.
but if there's a Wednesday, Thursday, or Sunday show, hey, guess
Right.
what? If it's open, we got a spot for you.
Yeah.
I want to do trivia and karaoke. I know Mike Murray and Brad Pierce want to do something together, and they got
Yep.
a good following. I'm thinking about talking with like the Eastern Polka Tour. I'm going to visit
Yep.
with someone from them on Thursday,
Great.
Thursday, tomorrow.
Yep.
And just really keep the energy going. And
Yeah.
I want it to be like a Cheers. Remember the show Cheers?
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone knows your name. It's home. Like if you guys had a show somewhere in the area, you might not be on the show, but you know what? I'm going to go
Hang
Stop
out.
in.
Exactly.
And that's what we had talked about, because I remember when you told me what was going on and what you were doing, you said it was so awesome. You were like, tell me about periwinkles.
Yeah.
Because and you know, our listeners know and our viewers know we've talked about periwinkles a ton on this show. That's where I got my start. That's where the Rhode Island comedy scene got its start. And I remember telling you, if you were doing a show anywhere in New England, you didn't go home when you were done with your show. You went home to periwinkles.
Exactly.
And the fact that you want to make the comedy park that is exciting for people. I'd love to be able to come back from doing a show up in Bridgewater, Mass, and come down and on my way home, stop in, whether I'm doing a set or not.
Right.
But that's
just
how
to
it
stop
was.
and see who's there.
Right. And
see who's on the
that's
show
how
that
it
night.
was
Hang out with the
sometimes.
other guys.
Yep.
You know,
Type of thing.
if you did a Thursday night show and you came back and the showcase night was going on, chances are you could get a 5-minute spot.
You know, but if you
but
build,
that wasn't the reason why you went.
no,
you know?
but if you build a culture like that for the performers, that's only going to bleed over into the audiences because they're going to sense
Bingo.
Right.
it. You know, when the performers are
They're
on
gonna
stage
sense
and they
that
feel
community.
like they're at home,
Yep.
you know, that the audience is going to feel that, you know, from the performers.
Yeah. And I also think the other thing that is blessing this situation is, you know, 15 years ago, I came into comedy. A lot of the people in the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame and beyond, people I've met have inspired me to keep going.
Mhm.
And I'd say the last 11 years, I've really kind of hit my stride,
Yeah.
right? Most of the time, people who own clubs, they're bookers. They
Mhm.
don't understand the plight of driving to New Hampshire, knowing the money you're getting paid is literally gas, hotel, come back. You're not making any money.
Right.
It's just
Right.
to be on stage.
Yep.
Right.
Where if let's say someone's coming in and you know, I'm never going to be in a situation to put the club at harm financially. But if I know, listen, this guy's traveling 4 hours, he's coming. It's like I
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
So I just want people to know that, you know, the comedians that work for me, you know, the club, the patrons, the comedians, everyone's going to be treated fairly
Right.
with love and respect. That listen, I get it. I'm a booker, but I'm also a comic.
Right.
So you know, I know both sides of the coin at a
You're going to
pretty high
appreciate
level.
people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
And-
and I think that's one of the reasons, like you talk about the success of Funny for Funds, because you were a comic that built it.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you understand all the comics going to your shows. You guys built an atmosphere where comics want to work on those shows.
Right.
You know, if you weren't comedians and you didn't build an atmosphere where comedians wanted to be on your shows, that they wouldn't be as successful as it is.
Right.
Because you know, you help people raise money, but if comedians don't want to work for you, it
Right.
doesn't matter. It's all for nothing.
Yep.
So it's all these different ingredients have to fall together for the whole thing to work.
Now you mentioned the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame.
So
So,
I was gonna-
that's
I
the
was-
second piece
so
of
I
it.
was-
That's really exciting.
and I have to say, when you called me and you texted me and said, "Hey, give me a call. I got to talk to you," and you told me about all of this. This was one of the things that impressed me the most about this whole thing, because I know you're a man of integrity, but the fact that this, I know, sat in your mind from the day of your roast and the day where Funny for Funds was inducted and sat there until you finally had the chance to say, I have to do this, impressed me more than anything.
Because what was the big joke that Charlie Hall came up with? And he
Yep.
came up with
Yep.
it
And it was
from
perfect.
day one. And it was true.
It was.
Right.
It
That
was.
the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame was just a website.
It's not so much a hall as it is a website.
Yes.
Correct.
That's what he said. It's true. It made for a funny joke. But for those of us in the hall, it was like, yeah, it's great that I got honored, but
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
once
stuck
that
with you.
night is over, it's
that,
over.
That night that we got inducted into the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame as a company, not
Yeah.
as individual comics,
Right.
and hopefully someday that will happen. But I'm honored to do it as a company. And Funny for Funds has raised almost 6.8 million now.
Right.
It's over 7 years. I don't even count 2020, right? So
Right,
we're talking about $1 million a year. And when we got inducted, I remember saying at the podium, Joe, I don't know how it's going to happen. Dana Nathanson and Charlie Hall and all these, Franco Don, all these amazing people that came before us, the Paradas and all these. It's like, you know what? I was Ace. Well, you're here. I figured that you just talked about it. But if you want to say your name again, Ace, but we are in your acement.
Yeah, you are in my acement. Come on.
Oh my God, picnic tables. So
would you hurry up with these fucking podcast
I
tables?
know.
Been making them for a year and a half.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say, don't you make stuff?
Yeah, he's making.
I'm in the process
Bob
of making
Vila
them.
hasn't finished yet. That's why we're on picnic tables.
But I remember that night saying, I don't know how it's going to happen. And what a lot of people don't know is there was 4 other times I came close.
Yeah.
And it just never came to fruition. And I
Right.
remember talking with Joe, and I would never say too much because I didn't want to have that roller coaster with them, because I know how much it meant to you guys.
Yeah.
If it meant a lot to me, and I'm not even in as a comic, and you guys I've done comedy for 15 years, but 11 years hard. You guys, what are you, 25 years now?
33 this year.
Like I said, 33 years, Scott, right? So the people in Rhode Island, John Parrott, it's been decades, and it's time. It is time to recognize the people that came before us to pave the way, that built Periwinkles, and I know over the years performed at other clubs. But really just, if people were forgotten about, they need to be rebirthed with this and have excitement. I know John Parrott looks like he's talking like a 16-year-old
I know.
right now.
That night,
He's so excited.
With the three. So Billy took me there. We met up for a drink one night. He didn't roofie my drink that night. I don't know why, but you didn't need to.
I didn't know. I know.
I was going to
like,
say, when did you need to be roofied?
right.
I'm like, what is this? I'm like, Ace, it's milk.
But
Just drink it.
he's just like milk. It's Diprovan.
Doesn't.
But when we went to the theater that night,
We're in the balcony.
and we were in the balcony, and he goes, "Hey, I got a surprise. Parada's meeting us here." Parada was like a little kid. He's like, "Brother, I could be dead in 20 years." He goes, "But it's so cool. Like my kids and my grandkids are gonna be able to go and see my face and a plaque." And and it didn't hit me until that night. After he said that, I was like, holy shit. Like, not that my kids give a shit about me now because they're teenagers. You know how it is. You don't give a shit about what your dad does. But eventually they will care. Like, oh my God, my dad was a comedian in Rhode Island and was in the Hall of Fame. Like, that means a lot. It really, really does. So we have to thank you for giving the Hall of Fame an actual home.
So Rock and Joe Hebert and I there the other day, and I was telling him where we was going to go. And I had chalk. I was doing the measurements, and I got a beautiful wall inside the club where now it's going to say in the perfect letters above, a home of the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame. It's going to have everyone's plaque up to 20 on the wall. I think there's 10 people in there now. And then to the right of it, I'm going to have a monitor, and I'm going to be creating a documentary, having interviews with the Hall of Fame people. So the plaques come to life when they hit play on the monitor. So, and all these things I've thought of, it's going to have beautiful track lighting shining down, and there'll be a nice walkway in front of it for people to walk by, even while the show's going on, to walk by, to either leave the club, go to the bathrooms, that they're going to be able to walk by the Hall of Fame. It's the main point of egress and entry, in the as the show, right? So as soon as you walk in, it literally slams you right in the face to be like, let's pay homage to the people that came before us. So I'm looking to grow it over the years. And it's just an honor to bring a physical home to the Hall of Fame and just be like, hand it to you guys and be like, we did it. Not we. Because I wouldn't be, people like, oh my God, congratulations. But I'm like, there's so many people behind this accolade that's happening for me now. Yeah. And it's you guys, and it's the people with Funny for Funds, and Mike Murray and I building something special. And then before that, John Parrott giving me a chance. And Eddie Galvin, the very first night I did stand up, was like, don't suck. Right. And it was just like,
it is. It's all those things. You're
things.
right.
Exactly.
And we joke about Parrott all the time, but how many people has he given starts to and given spots to that, he gave me a spot when I didn't deserve one yet, and gave me a paid spot and, helped people get better. So, he obviously deserved it.
Brother, I remember giving Bill Burr at Old McDonald's.
Oh, you can eat chicken and waffles.
Yeah, Old McDonald's Chicken Farm. Yeah.
$25.
So the club, the Comedy Park will be inside the historic theater. The Hall of Fame is going to have its own physical home now. There'll be signage on the outside.
We've already talked about it that, as much as we love the Acement, we may do some podcasts guests from the
Yep.
Comedy Hall of Fame, from
Yeah.
the Rhode Island Comedy Hall
Yeah,
of Fame. It'd be
that-
cool,
That would be very cool.
you know.
And I'll have tables there just like this that you can. You don't even need to bring the tables, guys. Just leave
Yeah.
the tables here.
Those
right?
fucking tables are going to be done by next week.
Okay.
I'm calling in sick to work the next 2 days and getting those tables done.
Yeah.
So this is
That's awesome,
yeah.
though.
So
Yeah.
I would say we're looking at an opening weekend of April 29th and 30th.
Yep.
Friday the 29th will be that's the Hall of Fame night.
Yep.
Where friends and family we were supposed to open April 21st, but they're still going over legal stuff,
Permits and stuff like that.
yeah,
right?
we tried, but it's
Yeah.
still April, but it's just a few weeks later. And then the following night, April 30th, will be a Funny for Fun show.
Yep.
To raise money to help pay the Ed and Jeff back for the work that they did
The
inside the
work.
club. I'm not looking for a handout, but they were nice enough to kind of build it for me.
Yeah.
And they're going to give me the number of all the costs, and then I pay them back.
Right. Right.
And then the following weekend is the first weekend where every weekend from there we're going to be cranking out some great shows. I think the first week I have Steve Sweeney coming in the headliner.
Awesome.
And
That's great.
so
Legend.
just a lot of
Legend.
Boston comedians. A lot of the local guys will help me through the summer.
Yep.
And then we haven't even started booking the fall yet. It's
Yeah.
literally the website will be done in like 2 weeks. Like we're
Yeah.
still building. It's all
Yeah.
day, every day.
So actually, there is a splash page. I'm putting it up on the bottom. You'll see the ticker going across. So www.thecomedypark.com, and that's the splash page for the thing for the club, and then www.richhof.org is the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame, and they
Right.
put up a really nice article about the hall having a home now. So it's really
And if you go
good.
to the Comedy Park splash page, you can put in your email address and sign up, so you can be notified as stuff
Yep.
comes up and
Right.
everything.
Yeah,
like
and there's
that.
more coming on that. Like we
Yeah.
literally, I just needed a page for them to land
landing
on for
page,
them.
right.
That's it. And
Yeah, but
And
you,
we're going to be there. We're going to be doing a behind the funny weekend, August 5th and 6th. So
we may have to bring some merch with us.
we'll have to bring some merch.
Maybe do a giveaway for some of our loyal viewers that if you come out to the show, maybe
come out to the show. We're going to do. I don't know. We haven't figured out the format exactly. We might do a
we'll
little
have
bit
fun though.
We might do a little bit of comedy and then a little bit of the
Yeah.
podcast live.
Yeah,
So
mix it
that'll
up,
be
mix it
fun.
up, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have
So-
fun. You're definitely gonna want to come out for that. But I mean, it's starting off with Sweeney is a great way to launch that,
Absolutely.
and then you got some amazing shows, I'm sure, lined
And
up.
listen, as we
after
move
that.
forward, there's going to be a lot of people that I've always wanted to work with that come into the club, and I just know it's going to be a high level, high brand
Yep.
quality, and you get the first 3-4 months of people from Rhode Island at the club and people from Boston, and the word will spread.
Exactly.
That, it was a
Exactly.
great environment, and the
I-
green room is ridiculous.
I've already reached out to a couple of New York people that are very interested in coming
Awesome.
in. So, as time goes on.
And is this? What happened? Okay.
No, your ring doorbell just.
Yeah, I know.
You want me to go get him?
No, do you want me to go get him? Our next guest is here. And so, Scott, rather than me trying to go around Scott, I figured, Scott, can you, go get our guest? But he's throwing a little fit there, a little hissy fit there.
We could have sent Austin.
We could have sent Austin. But then
Austin
but
was
then-
like, Scott, you go,
yeah,
buddy.
but then
You
but
need-
then the funny thing is our next guest would have been like, who
Yeah.
are you?
Austin would have been like, podcast. No,
Yeah, I don't know what
I
you're
don't know.
talking about.
my mom's in the
I
kitchen.
just-
I don't think you should be
I
here
just
right now.
ordered a pizza. Are you the pizza
Are you the
delivery
pizza guy? Are you the Uber
Yeah.
Eats?
Uber Eats.
It's gonna be
So,
awesome.
yeah,
it's gonna
it
be
is.
awesome. The
It-
Hall of Fame is gonna be great. The theater is gonna be awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm excited for my boys too.
Yeah.
As this thing grows, and they're fans of different comedians, so they're gonna
Yeah.
be able to meet different people that they see on TV, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be awesome. Like I know the theater has already booked Jim Brewer
Oh, nice.
for May 14th and TJ Miller for
Fantastic.
May 21st.
I,
So there's more coming, and they're gonna listen in the theater. They're gonna do like dance recitals.
yeah,
dance
my
competitions, and-
daughter's dance recital is actually already booked for
okay.
for June.
Oh, there you go.
She
So-
reached out.
Yeah.
And so they're doing it there. So it is going to be good. And I actually reached out to someone. I'll tell you off air, but
Yeah.
I reached out to someone who would be a big draw
Awesome.
in the theater as well. So that's the cool thing, though, is it's a community.
Yep.
Like we're all helping each
Yep.
other. You know what I mean? Like I immediately started reaching out to people saying, "Hey, new club opening up. Would love to to get you here. Don't have any dates yet or anything like
Yep.
that." But at least putting the feelers out for people who, quite frankly, some of these people used to be used to come to the state all the time and really miss working here.
Well,
a
let's-
couple of them.
Let's bring
you
him
know?
back. Let's get the
Tom Anzalone. Tom Anzalone would, this guy was huge every time he came here.
Andrew Kennedy would do awesome
Yeah.
at that club.
Exactly.
He's
So-
And the cool
phenomenal
thing is,
comic.
if you have a big show like a Jim Brewer or TJ Miller or any of these people that fill the theater,
Right.
700, 800, 900, they're gonna walk in and be like, oh man, if they didn't know, they're like, oh, there's a comedy club here.
Mhm.
So, and then I'm having a show there, and they're like, oh, look who's coming to the big theater. So
Right.
we're literally cross promoting each other.
Exactly.
And it's just going to be that community environment of entertainment and laughter. And listen, after the last couple of years, we've all been through whatever side of the
We
fence
all
you're on.
need
We all
it.
need to laugh. And yell.
Exactly.
And so
It-
we're going to
it-
deliver.
It's going to be exciting, man. It's just so nice to your idea of making it like a Cheers, a place where we can go and hang out and see our friends performing on stage and then hang out afterwards and everything. I'm so looking forward to that.
Me too.
Because for so many years now, we just get in the car and go home.
Right.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And I got to sit here week after week as Ace brings on his old friends from Periwinkles and hear how awesome Periwinkles was. And we'd always stop
That's
there
true.
and we'd always hang out. Ed the Machine Regime, brother. We had him on, 2 weeks
ago.
2 weeks ago, and all we had to hear is him and Ace hanging out together.
Because that's what it was. It
I
was
know.
Great. Now
I want to have that.
Well, we're going to
now
have it
we
at
get
the
it.
Comedy Park. And as Rhode Island will be like POK. Right?
Yeah, I know.
Pop.
I was
Yeah.
wondering if you were going to change
I'll
the
probably
logo.
have a t-shirt and be like,
Yeah.
meet me at the park. POK.
Murray, get on the
Yeah,
t-shirt.
Murray.
Make sure it's
Time to merch it up,
sublimated.
Murray. Sublimation.
Make it
Sublimated.
sublimated.
That's right. How many screens you want? I can do up to 4 colors. They don't even bleed.
The guy's not even in the state we're
That's
pounding
right.
on.
Who gives a
We
shit?
do all the
That's
time.
right.
That's
Wow.
awesome. But I appreciate you guys having me on. This is
No,
awesome.
Yeah.
thanks for popping in tonight. We appreciate it, Billy. And once again, check out their landing page right now. Sign up so you can get updated as they get ready to launch and see what shows they got coming up in the future. Check out the Rhode Island Comedy Hall of Fame. Amazing. They just inducted Ruth Buzzy.
Yes, Ruth Buzzy
Yes.
is this year's induction.
This year's inductee,
Can I tell you a quick story about Ruth Buzzy?
please.
So Rock and Joe and Dana, all these people, John Parada was all excited about it. And I acted excited for them, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know who
I don't know who
Buzzy
she
is.
Did
is.
you
Yeah.
really?
So here's what happened. My God's honest truth. I was just acting excited for them, right? Yeah. So right when the pandemic hit, I was talking with my mother. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm sick of TV. I usually don't watch it that much, but I'm stuck. We're all stuck, right?"
Right.
So she's like, "You know what? Just last night I was. I don't know if my mom sounds like that, but so
I was gonna say that's a
Austin
bad
said-
impression
yeah,
of your
it's-
mom.
she's
That
gonna
sounds
hear
nothing like
yeah,
grandma.
Yeah, that's not good.
I've met your mom. That sounds nothing like her.
Wait a minute. What do you mean
Ace,
you met my
do
mother?
impressions. Do his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ace, please don't do my mom.
No.
Okay.
Do his
Uh,
mom.
Actually,
was that
yeah,
one night.
It,
Hey.
you want a new hi stepdad. So
him grandpa.
Grandpa, say hi to your
Went
grandfather.
south very fast.
you want
what
10
happened?
Ace, can you give your grandson $10?
Yeah, right.
But real quick, 'cause I know you got another guess. Is so my mom says, you know what you should do? You love comedy. Have you ever seen the Dean Martin roast? And I'm like, no. She goes, Billy, do yourself a favor because that's when comedy was the classics and this and
Yeah.
that. I watched a Dean Martin roast and two people I found love. They were all awesome.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that they're all smoking, right?
Smoking
Yeah,
and drinking.
smoking,
Unbelievable.
Smoking and
drinking.
Like a Johnny Costin,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
but two things rocked my world. One was this old lady hitting people with
With
the
the
bag.
handbag. Yeah.
I just knew her as the old lady. I still didn't know it was Ruth
Ruth
Buzzy.
Buzzy.
And I loved her. And then I told Ace the other guy I fell in love with was
Foster
Foster
Brooks.
Brooks.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Foster Brooks.
Right. And
We have
so,
something in common. We're both dating your wife.
so I was talking with Rock and Joe one night, and he goes, "Hey, I just got off the phone with Ruth Buzzy, and she's excited and blah blah blah." And I said, "Joe, can I be honest with you?"
Who the fuck is Ruth
And-
Buzzy?
A year later, like
Yeah,
they've
right.
been talking about it for a year. I said, "Who's Ruth Buzzy?"
Yeah.
And he went, "You don't fucking know Ruth Buzzy." And I was like, I felt so guilty. Like, listen,
Yeah, right.
I've been living my life in a really clean way,
Mm.
and I had to get this off my chest. I said, "Who's Ruth Buzzy?" And he was like, "I'm gonna send you a picture." And he screenshots it and sent it to me. As soon as it came up, I was, "Holy shit, that's Ruth Buzzy! That's Ruth Buzzy! I love this woman." The Dean Martin roast, the Foster Brooks. All of a sudden, I was a master on Ruth
Yeah,
Buzzy. But for a whole year, I just didn't. I didn't
Didn't know.
I didn't know. And
That's
then once I
hilarious.
knew who it was, man, that's
Brilliantly
that's a
funny.
powerful. That is a powerful induction. So
Absolutely.
congratulations to them.
Yeah.
And she'll be on the wall inside
She'll
the
be
Hall
on
of
the
Fame.
wall.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
and
Yeah.
and
That
the
was
picture
great.
of her that they took of her holding
Holding
her
the
plaque,
plaque.
Is
big
awesome.
smile on her face. Just the fact that again, and I still owe them a video. I still
Yeah.
have to do my video, but I'm just honored that I'm in the anything that has anything to do with her. You know what I mean? Because I remember as a kid, my mom laughing her ass off.
Yes.
After
Yeah.
I went to bed, and I'd sneak down and I'd be like, "What's so funny?" And she'd be like, "All right, come on, sit on the couch." And Laughing was on, and we used to do skits in the backyard. Like the kids would all do skits.
Yep.
Who was going to be the lady with the handbag beating
Yeah.
the
Who's
shit
gonna
out
be
of the guy?
Who's going to be Artie? Who's
Artie,
going to be
yeah.
Ruth Buzzy?
Yeah.
You play the parts.
Now I'm aware of all of them, and it's just awesome because like Rock and Joe was telling me that he had a phone call conversation with her for like a half hour, and she was
Yeah.
telling funny stories about stuff backstage with Dean Martin, and
Yeah.
like think about
Imagine the stories.
Oh,
she could
the
tell.
stories that she
God,
could
with
tell.
everyone. She was naming all of them. And
Exactly.
unbelievable.
That's-
But it's gonna be awesome, guys, and
Can't
I'm
wait.
gonna get out of here. I know you gotta.
Can't wait,
No.
buddy. Thank you so much for stopping in
Thanks a lot.
tonight.
Thank you for stopping
Appreciate
in,
it.
man.
This is
Big
the
shout out
next
to
is gonna
Austin.
open up for me someday,
There
right?
you go.
So
There we go.
you're gonna be way better than these guys.
Yeah.
He already is.
He already is.
He already is.
If he's going to be better, he'll be opening
Set
up
your
for
sights
us
way
then.
higher than that.
Yeah.
Way higher
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, so you are gonna have your own basement show someday with wooden
That's
tables.
right. With wooden tables, maybe metal, maybe.
You know,
All right, he's out of here.
Oh, poor
Corey,
Scott.
you're a
All right.
co-host, Corey.
Listen,
Thanks a lot, guys.
thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming
Cheers,
in.
buddy. Thank you for
Cheers.
coming in.
Here's to the club.
Thank you
Here's
for
to the
tuning
Rhode
in
Island Comedy
tonight.
Hall of Fame. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you
Next week.